Hey there, Hoopty fans. I'm here in Glen Elk at Hoopty in the Hills headquarters, vintage variety used cars. We've got a few new cars in. I got lots of stuff sitting around here. I've pretty much polluted the whole area with cars. I'm in trouble with the police for parking things too many places, but I got a way to solve that problem. So we're gonna go through a rundown of the inventory. I'm gonna show you everything I have right now, and I'm also gonna show you the solution to my police problem and parking problem. I got lots of things that need to be fixed and a few things ready to sell and a few cool things we just acquired. So first of all, just a little bit of a preparation, try to be professional. Cue my intro. So it's been a long winter. I haven't made a lot of videos. I think I've only put one out. I did one in December, I think. But we got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things I'm excited about and a lot of things I've been dying to show you guys. I've been wanting to make a video. The weather stunk and I just have had too many things to do, but I'm ready to get back on the horse and ride here. So we're gonna go through the whole inventory, like I said, and we're gonna start with this beautiful blue Mustang. Now, I do not actually own this car yet. It's going to be a trade, and I'll show you what we're trading for here in a minute. We got a classic situation here of a guy who has a really, really nice car that he's had for years. I think he bought it new, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's an 05 or 04. And this thing is nearly perfect. The paint, I would give a 10 out of 10. It's got these super cool American racing wheels that look great on the car. The only downside of this car is this right here. And we're gonna figure out how to fix this. I don't think this is too big a deal. It looks like something we can take care of. This car is a manual. It is a 6-cylinder. That's kind of a bummer, but you know, it's actually so nice though. I think it has 70-some thousand miles, and when we get to the back of the shop here in a minute, I'll show you what we are going to trade for it. But like I was saying, this is the classic story of a guy with a super cool 2-door car that he's had since it was brand new, sat in his garage. He has taken great care of and he loves, but dude just needs a work truck. So he's going to be trading me a work truck for this beautiful Mustang, and I'm pretty hyped up about that. All right, moving on. If you watch my videos, this is a Hoopty in the Hills classic I still haven't done anything with yet. Just give you a peek so you can see what it is. Jesus, top is on here good. Peek, that's the Boxster. So the Boxster's here, living inside, under a top, where it's safe. That is a 1999 Porsche Boxster that is kind of for sale. I don't want to sell it really bad, so I'm not trying real hard to get rid of it, but I do have it listed on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm thinking of sticking it up on eBay. Once again, I'm not real motivated to sell it. Over here, we got something cool. This is a true race car, not a joke. This is I think it's an 83 or 84 Volkswagen GTI. And this thing is all-wheel drive with a VR6, and it's got a crazy amount of horsepower, and it only weighs like 1,800 pounds. It's under a top right now, and I'm not going to go to too much trouble to show it to you, but just part of your Hoopty update. This is just one of the things in the fleet. One of the things I own that I don't need. We'll give you a look at the back of it. And maybe we'll do a more extensive video on this in the future, because it is a pretty cool car. I mean, it's pretty neat, you know, but we'll talk about that another time. Right now, let's talk about the inventory stuff that's a little more current. I think that has made appearances in other videos too, just sitting here in the shop. My mechanic, Taryn Lackey, this is his car, so we won't talk too much about this one. It's a Volkswagen R32 GTI, and it's one of those cars that if you know, you know. It's a super cool car, and he's done all kinds of stuff to it. All right, so let's open up the door and go back here and do a little inventory walk. I'm gonna put the sunglasses on, so I'm not trying to be cool, it's just bright. I had eye surgery a couple years ago, so I wear sunglasses all the time when I'm outside. So, this is a 78 Datsun Z. I'm really not sure which model it was because at the current time it does not have a motor. I don't know if it was the big engine or the little engine. It doesn't really matter because eventually it's gonna have an LS in it, and it's gonna be a little American twist on this super cool old Japanese car. But as of right now, it's just kind of chilling here waiting for its time. Let me shut this door before I walk away. Where's the button? Car number 2. I'm not gonna be able to tell you the years on all these. This is a Volkswagen TDI. I'm pretty sure it's a 2015, just off the top of my head. But this one is currently going to be for sale. It has one more thing I think we have to fix before I list it. But this came from the auction, and this was a great auction buy. I think we've only put maybe $175, $180 into fixing it. And you see it has a little bit of everything. If you don't know about TDIs, this is a turbo diesel injected car. It's a 4-cylinder turbo injected. And this thing, I don't know exactly how many miles a gallon it'll get, but it's in the range of 50. It might get 40 in town and 50 or 55 on the highway, but you're gonna average around 50 miles a gallon in this car. It's a Volkswagen Passat TDI SE. This car is another one that belongs to Taryn, my mechanic. It's a WRX that has many, many things done to it. It's crazy fast, and it will be for sale here pretty soon. But I'm not going to tell you much about it because I don't know much about it. So we're going to stick to the things we know about. Over here, we have an Audi A4. This thing is currently listed for sale. It actually came from the auction. It had a broken strut and looked like it was a piece of junk, and we got it back to the shop and literally have spent almost nothing to fix it. It really was not that bad. I think somebody had assumed that it had frame damage, but it turned out that some of the parts on the front had actually been put on upside down by somebody who didn't know what they were doing. So we literally put it up on the lift, and you know, Terrence starts looking at it. He's underneath it, and on the, God, I don't want to get the name of the part wrong and sound wrong. I think it's tie rods. So on the front of the tie rods, there were actually little arrows that pointed up, and they were pointing down. They had the up arrow and they said up, and they were pointing down. So, you know, the auction and anyone else that looked at that car actually believed it had frame damage from, it didn't even look like it was an accident. It looked like they maybe slid off the road and went in a ditch or hit a curb, but the wheel was completely like out of whack and didn't look right. So Taryn loosens it up, takes the piece off, flips it over. So the up arrow is pointing up, you know, bolt it back on, and we have a fixed car. So I don't want to pretend like I'm really smart. You know, actually, I got such a good deal on this thing that even if it had the damage that we thought it had, we still could have made money on it probably. But basically, we got this car ridiculously cheap because people thought it had frame damage and thought this front wheel was all messed up, and it wasn't. So I have to give Taryn a gold star on that one. Moving right along, you'll see that I have a thing for TDIs right now. The white TDI Passat we just talked about, this is a gray one. So this is a 2014. You see this one came from the auction, so I don't have to guess on the year. 2014, 129,000 miles, came from Robinson Car Center in Pennsylvania. Once again, this car almost ready to go. The only thing we're gonna have to do to this front fender, well, this thing's broke, it's gotta come off there obviously, but we got a little damage on this front fender. We actually already have a new fender for this. We're just gonna swap it out, blend the paint, and this thing should be ready to go. And once again, you're talking 50 some miles a gallon and leather interior. It's just a great car. I mean, these things, if you're on any kind of budget whatsoever, you know, diesel fuel, I get it, it's a little more expensive per gallon, but when you're getting 50 miles a gallon, or if you're, you know, on a trip or whatever on the highway getting almost 60 is what I'm told it can get. I don't see I don't see how you could resist something like that if you're on a budget. Now, I'm an idiot and I drive a Hummer and I don't care about gas mileage, but if you're on a budget, you know, this car, it's crazy. And, you know, also the amount this thing will last, it's got 129,000 miles. And, you know, for a gas car, you might start thinking, nah, you know, that's a lot of mileage. I don't know if I want to trust this thing. But for a diesel, folks, I mean, people drive diesel engines 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles. Just go out and do a little research on Volkswagen TDIs. And, you know, they did have that big lawsuit a while back where, you know, Volkswagen was actually tricking the emissions people, and the car actually knew when it was plugged in for an emission test and lowered its emissions to make it seem like it was better than it was. But that's because they were trying to give their customers the best gas mileage. So the fact that they were calling the government to give us better gas mileage actually kind of cracks me up and makes me respect Volkswagen even more. So maybe I'm not a good guy for that, but I'd rather have my 50 or 60 miles a gallon than worry about what the government thinks. All right, so this is a Hyundai Tucson. It is a 16, I believe, maybe 17. If you're interested in any of these cars, which that's not really what this channel is about. I'm not here to sell cars. I'm here to have fun and make videos. But if you're interested in any of these cars, just look up my dealership. It's Vintage Variety Used Cars, located in Clarksburg, West Virginia. You can find me on Facebook. It's easy. So that's my 10-second plug. So this thing is a great story. So this Hyundai Tucson was purchased at the Mountain State Auto Auction, and it was a red light car, but it seemed fine. Okay, so I got in this thing super cheap. It was one of the first cars I bought at the auction, and that was the day in my car dealer life that I went through the range of emotions of thinking I was the smartest car dealer in history and I was going to be great at this and make tons of money because I got this thing so cheap. I was like, man, I just ran circles around those other dealers. I must be super smart. Then I left the auction, put some gas in it. There's a gas station just like maybe a quarter mile up the road. So I didn't go probably over 40 miles an hour to get to the gas station. So hit the gas station, fill it up, put some mid-grade in it, full tank. And then I go to get on 79, and this thing, I mean, the the way I described it on my Facebook page that people thought was pretty funny, the engine in this thing sounded like a box of forks rolling down the steps. It just exploded. I mean, it was, and believe it or not, I'll give Hyundai a little bit of credit. This thing actually made it all the way back to my shop, which is probably 5 miles, but folks, it was a trying 5 miles, and we did a lot of drifting. I took a different road than I would normally take that was kind of not so much traffic, and I could drift a lot downhill. It was bad. The engine was done in this car. I never even made it, you know, from the auction back to my shop before this thing exploded. So I went from thinking I was the smartest car dealer in the world to, I don't know, the car gods humbling me and reminding me that I'm a dumbass and I have a lot to learn. So anyway, story goes on. My mechanic and the guy that's been doing painting for me, Taryn and Luke Krim, by the way, Luke's a great painter. I want to give him all the credit in the world. Everything that he's done from where he has been spectacular. But so Luke has a suggestion. Maybe we should check with Hyundai because he knew that they had some recalls on these cars. And the car had 129,000 miles, or no, I'm sorry, 116,000. So I was pretty much not even in on this because I just thought we were screwed. We weren't gonna get any money out of this thing. New engine for it was like $4,000 and it really wasn't even worth it. I was ready to just scrap the car. But Luke was smart enough to call up Hyundai on his own without even me involved or encouraging to. Luke called them up and there was a recall and they had extended the warranty on this car, which I didn't know. So basically, to finish a long story short, Hyundai actually put a brand new manufacturer engine in this car, completely free of charge, under warranty, and I paid nothing. It has literally, this Hyundai literally has like 81 miles. I'm pretty sure it's 81 to 85 miles. I guess that's not really super important. I'm being a little too specific, but it has 80 miles basically on a 2015 body, and the body is in perfect condition. It's a super cool little car. It doesn't have a sunroof, but other than that, I mean, it has heated seats and backup camera. It's got a little bit of everything. But what's cool is it's a 2015 or 2016 or whatever it is. You probably don't care unless you want to buy it. It has no miles on a new engine installed by the dealer, and they did put a warranty on that new engine also. I think it's only 5,000 miles or something, but anyway, it's just pretty cool how it worked out, and I really owe Luke and Taryn for figuring that out for me. And when we sell this thing, I'm definitely going to reward them accordingly. So here is a Chevy Colorado. Again, this is kind of a score from the auction because this is another one that looked terrible at the auction. It actually, I think one of the struts was bad or something. I don't even remember. Anyway, this front grille is broken. You see that? Got some tape on it. And overall though, this is, I thought it was open, I'm sorry. So this is a super cool little truck. And I got it really, really cheap, like too cheap, really, that I thought I was screwing up. You know, because like I said, with the Hyundai, I was humbled by the car gods to the point that now when I get one of these crazy good deals, I start being like, you know, why did these other dealers let me have this? Are they, you know, are they teaching me a lesson and just being like, oh yeah, let that dumbass buy this? So I was very nervous when I got this thing as cheap as I did, but this thing is solid. I mean, it's a 4-cylinder Colorado. I think it's a 2011. The thing's got like, I think 72,000 miles, and it's a 2012, I'm sorry. So 2012, 72,000 miles. Came from a dealership called North Star. And it was actually such a good deal. Like I said, I thought maybe I did something wrong. It made me paranoid that maybe I got too good of a deal. The body's great, other than that grill, and that's literally like $150, $200 piece. We already have it ordered. I mean, we're gonna slap that grill on this thing, clean it up. I might have to put a new headlight on it. You see it's got a little moisture in it. But, you know, how easy a profit this car is going to be. And this is the car that, like I was telling you, we are going to swap for that Mustang that I showed you inside the garage. All right, so let's continue on here. I'll actually walk and talk to you here, give you a little tour of Glen Elk. So I got at least one car over here in this lot. I don't own this lot, but I'm trying to find places to park things right now, and I have really good neighbors. Gene Papa, who owns a lot of things over here in Glen Elk, very, very like helpful to me and business, and letting me use his equipment and letting me park on his lots. Great guy. Give him a plug. He just opened a event center over here called the Morris. Look that up if you're in the Clarksburg area, or if you're looking for a really cool place to have a wedding, check out the Morris. It's an old factory that the top floor has been changed into like a ballroom. I don't know what to call it. It's a rental space, but it's super cool. All right, so moving on. This is a 2011 Taurus SHO, and this thing is a beast, ladies and gentlemen. A beast. Okay, so if you don't know, these are what people use as police cars in many areas. A lot of them are switching to SUVs now, but this was the standard police car for quite a while. Now this one is not like a police car. If there's any of my police friends watching this, you see this car, you don't want to chase me, bro. Not that I would run, I'm a good guy. I don't have any reason to run, but if I'm in this thing and I decide I don't want you to pull me over, you don't want to chase me, bro. So this is not a regular Taurus SHO. This thing, it's the 3.5 liter twin turbo, but I bought this thing, I want to say built, not bought. But I'm not the one that built it, somebody else built it. It does have 120,000 miles, but the engine has been completely taken apart and they made this thing a complete beast. I don't even know all the stuff that's been done to it. I know they went into the engine and replaced a lot of the parts to make it stronger so it could handle more boost from the twin turbos. And it's tuned. It's got a little tuner you plug in and you can change how much boost and stuff like that, which I've never really had a lot of experience with before. So it's kind of a learning experience for me. And we've had a couple issues that we've been trying to get fixed. Namely, this tire has a hump on it and it's a new tire. So I have another tire ordered for it and I just have to go pick it up this week and we're gonna get it put on. And then we can find out what it can do, but I was kind of afraid to put too much stress on that tire, so I haven't pushed it hard. But I'm told, now I'm not claiming this because I don't want to be one of those guys that claims how many horsepower my car has, but I'm told that with the right tune, this car can push around 620, 650 horsepower. Okay, I don't know if that's true, so don't jump in the comments and make fun of me. But I can tell you from the factory, this car is almost 400 horsepower. And I've seen pictures of the engine taken completely apart. I know it has lots of upgraded parts and I know it's got the cool little tuner. So, I mean, going to 4 to 6, I don't know. I haven't been able to push it to tell you my opinion yet. And we'll make a video about this car and really get on it and find out if it really is that kind of crazy cool. But it's a very good looking car. You can see we did a lot of stuff to it, little stuff, so you don't get the normal video you get from me where I show it to you in bad condition and then we fix it. But for instance, we got rid of all the chrome. This piece was chrome originally. We got rid of the blue and chrome regular Ford logo and replaced it with these black and chrome ones, which actually I think looks a little bit cooler. These wheels, they were originally just aluminum wheels, and you see we painted them a gloss black, and that gloss black, I'm sure it won't come across. Between the weather today and being on YouTube, I'm sure you're not going to be able to see it, but my guy Luke did an amazing job on these wheels. They're gloss black and they have little metal flake in them. He calls it Galaxy Black. I don't know if that's off the can or something he came up with, but it looks so cool. It's beautiful. So these pieces up here were corroded, so we went black on those. We left the chrome here because I think it kind of looks good just to set it off a little bit. This piece right here was originally chrome. We blacked it out. On the front end, blacked out this grille, and once again got rid of the blue and chrome Ford logo and went with the black and chrome. And I mean, this thing also, I think we did this black too. I can't remember if that was like that already or we did that, but it looks menacing. And if you know anything about the SHO, even though this one is a little older, these cars had the best technology at the time. It's got heated and cooled seats, it's got sunroof, it's got GPS and backup camera, it's got everything, probably everything you could possibly get the year it was made. Here's a Daytona SRT. I won't talk too much about that one because I don't know too much about it. I do not own this car. Luke, the painter, this one actually belongs to him. I understand it has an SRT4 out of a neon in it. And it's a pretty fast car. I don't know exactly how fast, but pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, we'll continue our hoopty walk here around the front side. And here, I made a video about this today also, so I'm not sure which video will come up first, but here is my ego and ridiculousness all in one. This is a 2007 Hummer H2, and I gotta tell you folks, I'm like a kid. I'm in love with this thing. So, you know, I buy things to sell them, but I don't know. I might be in love with this one. 2007, 130,000 miles. It has an LS engine. It's the 6.0 Vortec, and you know, it's super cool. It's a car I always wanted. It's huge. It's ridiculous. It gets terrible gas mileage, but gosh, man, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to sell this one, unless I may post it online once we get it all cleaned up and do a couple things to it. Just like I do with everything, there's going to be some chrome taken off of it. I'm probably going to get new wheels for it because they're pretty corroded, and I want to replace some of the lights, the little marker lights up there. Some of them actually aren't working, but this thing is just super, super cool, and it's probably going to become a part of the Keith family. All right, moving along. This is a 2012 BMW 7 Series. Looks like it came from the auction, Schultz Auto Group. See, it has a flat tire right now, and it has a whole flat rear end. So, this is another one of my great deals, and you can see pretty clearly why I got a great deal on this one, as it is sitting on the back tires. So it has air suspension in the back, and my mechanic, Taryn, believes that if we replace a very cheap, I think $60 sensor, that this thing is going to come to life and lift its back end back up and be ready to go. So we can only hope he's right about that. The answer will come soon when we give it a try, pop that sensor in, and hopefully this thing lifts off and is ready to go. Actually, my mechanic Taryn just arrived here. We won't talk to him on camera, but we're gonna sneak over here and look at what he's driving. He's got one of the Hoopties. He has a Volkswagen Golf TDI. So this one also came from the auction, and we put very little investment into that one also. And it gets even crazier gas mileage than the Passats. We're actually talking probably maybe on the highway 65 miles a gallon. It's actually insane. But anyway, I think his child's in the car, so I won't go over there and start recording the vehicle. Okay, we're getting down to the end here. This is a Volkswagen Passat. I bought this one from a guy in Doddridge County that I know. I actually bought a different car from him also. So it's the second car I've bought from him. I like dealing with the same people because I found out from that first car he wasn't like a liar or anything. This one has not ran in about a year, and we have not for sure determined what the problem is yet. We think it's the computer. You can see we've had this part here off where Taryn's taking the computer out, but we think we're going to have this car fixed for under $200 or $300, so it's going to end up being a great deal also. Very good looking car, fully loaded. It's got the whole panoramic roof. You can see this, almost this whole roof is a sunroof. Leather interior, all the options, all the bells and whistles. So this is going to be a cool tax time car. This does have the 2-liter turbo gas engine. It's unfortunately not another one of the TDIs. And I'm sorry, this one's actually a CC. I call it a Passat because I'm an old school Volkswagen guy. This one is not actually. All right, so we're gonna finish the video talking about the solution to my storage and parking problems. And here it is, folks. Premiering for the first time on Hoopty and the Heels. I got a super cool new building. There goes Taryn in the GTI. I'm sorry, Rabbit, Golf, whatever it is. So this is a 34 by 52 building. It is going to hold a whole bunch of cars. And it is currently being constructed. Hopefully we have this done today and we are ready to start parking vehicles inside this. It's going to have, you can see them sitting right there, two 14-foot doors. Got 4 guys out here working on it right now, so I feel kind of weird talking to myself. I'm gonna get a little closer and take a couple pictures, but I'm gonna shut up. Man, it's looking good. You guys made a whole lot of progress.
Thank you.
Okay guys, so I feel a little weird over here talking to myself while these dudes are trying to work. So I'm not gonna mess with them right now. I'm gonna let them do their thing, but you got a chance to look at it. 34 by 52 steel building. I got 2 14-foot doors, roll up chain doors. Very cool. So I'll leave you with a view of my little kingdom over here on North 5th Street in Clarksburg, West Virginia, the Glen Elk area. And thank you very much for tuning in and watching. I hope I'm at least a little bit entertaining. I hope maybe the stupidest channel on YouTube, but hopefully I at least entertain somebody along the way. And if you are interested in seeing the follow-up videos when these things are done, like and subscribe to my channel. I'm telling you, I might do something cool. I might take this Hummer off-road. I just got a DJI Mini 3 drone, so we'll be playing with that thing real soon, and we're probably going to be doing some off-road videos with the Hummer if I can find a trail wide enough for it to fit down, because I'm definitely not going to take this thing through brush and scratch it up. So maybe I can just find a big pit of mud somewhere. All right, well, anyway, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hoopty in the hills. You have a good day.